My name is Jack Shannon and I'm a business development executive with Farrago AI. Today, the purpose of this video is to demonstrate the power of Farrago. So I'm going to be taking you through the tool in just a little bit slower than with some of the other demos that we've done. I'm just going to talk through all of the different intricacies we have when we are building a predictive model. So stepping back a bit just as we log in, the purpose of Farrago, or what it allows you to do, is build predictive models or predictions that help you manage risk and improve profit. So Farrago uses a subset of artificial intelligence and machine learning called predictive analytics. Predictive analytics is all about leveraging your existing data to determine patterns that predict future outcomes and trends. What Farrago does is abstract away the cost and the complexity of leveraging this technology. Alright, so what we're going to take you through today is getting data into the system, setting everything up, what Farrago actually reads from the data, some of the recommendations in terms of how to transform it to enable the machine learning elements of the product, predictions, and then we'll take you through the results. So the first step is getting your data into the tool. So there's two sort of ways you can do this. We've got AWS, which is sort of a cloud-based one, so we can link massive data sets through the cloud on S3, or we've got local files. Just for the purpose of this demo, we'll be using a local file. So we've prepared some house price predictions, prediction data, so it's about 5,000 rows on some houses. And I'll show you in a text editor what that looks like. Okay, there we go. So we've got the date, we've got the price the house sold. Excuse me. We've got bedrooms, bathrooms, square foot living, waterfront view, etc. And this is sort of how the data looks. Okay, now we're going to upload. There are limits on the local file size. The purpose of that is just to ensure that we want you to have really good data practices, and the bigger the file, the more likely it's important to have it in the cloud. And we're always happy to talk you through any of the technical details when it comes to this. Alright, fantastic. So pre-processing is done. So what pre-processing is it usually takes less than 10 seconds, and it's the tool structuring and analyzing the data and saying, hey, what are the steps that we're going to have to take? What's the data pipeline that we need to be thinking about in order to get this data optimized to be used in a predictive model? Okay, data analysis and setup. So there's a few things here. What we're going to start with is choosing a business case. So we've got a whole bunch of different options here in different sectors. We think price prediction should be okay for this. If you've got a different prediction and you're not a data science focused person, just reach out and we're happy to walk you through or maybe add it to the tool. But if you are a data scientist, we have some more specific options, so you can actually choose the type of algorithm that you want to apply. Okay, we want to analyze. Oh, I've made a mistake here. So what I've done is uploaded a single line of data. What we need is the 5,000 rows. Okay, this should be much better. Right. Well, this is, I guess, a good opportunity to demonstrate the power of Farrago. What the real advantage of using this tool is the speed of being able to process this information and get data set up and ready to analyze in a machine learning predictive model. That's looking much better. Now we can see we've got plenty of rows there. Okay, so as mentioned before, price prediction is what we're going to try and identify, and this is the column, so we're just going to select the price column. Analyze data. Alright, so these are the key recommendations that Farrago has sort of identified within the information. We've got column scaling, target to front, numeric features, and flow features. Now, what we want to these are the different, machine learning can be very, very finicky, especially when you're training a model. So ensuring that the data that's going into training the model is really well structured is quite important. And that is one of the fundamental parts of the Farrago tool. So what do I want to talk through? I think missing values is a nice and easy one for those who are less technically minded. We don't need to do it for this particular data set, but for example, if there was a data set that had, looking back at what we have, that 20% of these values, more than 20% of the date, the price, the bedrooms, bathroom, square foot, whatever it is, if we're missing more than 20% of those values, they often, it is best practice to remove those rows. Now, if you want to see what the actual recommendations are in a bit more detail and be talked through how it all works and have a record of what's happened, all you have to do is click download recommendation report. And if we open this up, you get a nice little PDF that says, okay, these are the key, this is sort of some information about your data, this is what you're using, and here's some recommendations. Yeah, we've got some rough estimate in terms of how long it would take a data scientist to do this manually. But yeah, so that's yours to keep and look after. There's the option to not transform, so not actually do this particular item, column scaling. It's not required to be trained in some of the tools that we use. However, there's not a recommendation that we don't recommend doing. Okay, let's transform the data. Last one. All right, so this is what Farrago's done. You can see there's two sort of tables here. We've got the original data, and now we've got the transformed data. So as you can see with, for example, the date, that's been slightly changed so that it's much easier for the tool doing the machine learning training to actually read and understand and infer information from. So what have we got? If we scroll down a little bit further, you can see, okay, this is the actions that have happened. And now you have the option to download the transform data. So it's in a CSV format. So we pull it out. You have access to this till the end of time if you want. Let's show you in maybe Excel. Alrighty. Yeah, perfect. So just as we sort of showed, we've got all the different transformations here. It's gone and just cleaned everything up so that the machine can read it. Perfect. Okay, now the next step is to send it off to Sagemaker. So Sagemaker is Amazon's machine learning training product. Now it can take up to 15 minutes, and obviously this really depends on the quantity and the quality of your data. But the basic process is begin by training the model. So there's roughly 75% of that initial data set is used to train the model and to create something that will allow you to make predictions. The next step is validation. So the remaining 25% of your prediction is using the inputs, so the potential items to predict it. For example, for this house price example, we would use the, say, square feet or the date of the sale, or if it has a waterfront view. And if we had that information, we'd put it into the prediction and we'd see what is the actual price that comes out the other side. And the reason we do this with the 25% of the data set that we know the answer to is we can then compare the results of the prediction with the actual results that we know. And this gives us a rough score for accuracy. Yeah, and the way that Farrago delivers the final information is via an email link. So we've got a report that you're able to see, but this way you can actually access the information. All right, so that will take a little bit of time to get to. So I might just cut the video here. Let's go find her. The process is still running. So even though you leave the screen, the information, the model is still being trained in the background, so you can go away, get a cup of coffee, do whatever you need to do, but that's still happening. This depends on just how much information you put in. So for the purpose of this video, we'll go to results that I've already prepared. It comes to you in an email. Awesome. All right, so we've got prediction accuracy, which is as I just described, what's predicted versus the actual results. You're able to save the model. You can download the data. You can download a machine learning report that sort of walks through everything that's happened, or you can start again. We've got the validation data and then the predictions here. Okay, excellent. And just quickly walking through everything else, we've got models. So you're able to say, what have we got here? Stop, deactivate, activate. And this way you can store a whole bunch of different predictions. This is the plan that you're on. So currently in my demo account, I've got about 20 different models that we can run, but obviously this depends on the commercial agreement you have with us. We're quite flexible in terms of what you need for your business, so please don't be afraid to talk to us. And that's the other thing. We've got intercom set up, so you can message us anytime, and feel free to send me an email, Jack at Farrago.ai, or support at Farrago.ai, and we'll always sort of engage with you. Awesome. All right, fantastic. So that's a very quick run through of the model and how you can build one. If you want to create a prediction, very similar, head to this end and then go, cool, we want to use a SAID prediction model. So we go, cool, what information do we want to put in? Let's put this, just for this example, in. And we go, cool, save prediction. All right, that'll be enough for now. Awesome. All right, thanks everyone for listening, and I appreciate your time through the demo. Hopefully you can see just how quickly we can build predictive models using Farrago. Any questions, again, please reach out. And if you want a demo, jump to our website. Awesome. All right, thank you very much for your time.